Dubai looks richer than ever. Ferraris flash beneath neon towers. Lamborghinis roar down perfect highways. Rolls-Royces wait outside seven-star hotels. Gold glitters in mall windows. Champagne still pours on rooftops above the desert. From the outside, it looks unstoppable. But beneath the engines, something is quieter than it should be. Too many towers with too few lights. Too many luxury apartments with no families inside. Too many businesses built for customers who come and go. Too many symbols of wealth floating without roots. Dubai still looks rich. That may be the warning. Because history is full of places that appeared strongest right before momentum began to fade. The music still plays. The fountains still dance. The valet still smiles. The skyline still shines. But something underneath the performance has changed. And if you know where to look, the supercars tell the story. They are everywhere. Yet many are rented. Leased for a weekend. Financed by borrowed confidence. Used as props in a city where image became currency. That does not mean Dubai is collapsing tomorrow. It means the visible signals of wealth may no longer mean what people think they mean. Before we uncover why cities often look most successful just before deeper weaknesses emerge, subscribe for in-depth analysis on wealth, geopolitics, and the hidden mechanics behind global success stories. Because Dubai is not just a city. It is a model. And models can expire. To understand the warning signs, you first need to understand the miracle. Dubai was never supposed to become this. A generation ago, it was a regional trading port surrounded by larger oil powers. It did not possess the vast reserves of some neighbors. It did not inherit the industrial depth of older financial capitals. It did not have centuries of institutional prestige. So Dubai did something smarter. It turned speed into strategy. Instead of relying only on oil, it built airports, ports, free zones, luxury resorts, shopping malls, airlines, and tax advantages. It positioned itself between continents, close enough to Europe, connected enough to Asia, useful enough to Africa. Where others sold resources, Dubai sold access. Then it sold aspiration. Because infrastructure alone does not create mythology. Symbols do. And Dubai mastered symbols better than almost any modern city. Palm-shaped islands visible from space. Indoor ski slopes in the desert. Hotels that looked like monuments. The tallest tower on earth, Burj Khalifa. Luxury so theatrical it became global entertainment. Every project sent the same message. The future lives here. And then came the roads filled with supercars. Not just transportation. Advertising. A Lamborghini outside a hotel says more than a billboard ever could. A Ferrari in front of a marina sells a dream faster than economics can challenge it. A convoy of Rolls-Royces tells visitors, money has already chosen this place. That was the genius. Dubai transformed visible luxury into economic fuel. The richer it looked, the more tourists arrived. The more tourists arrived, the more investors became curious. The more investors came, the more prices rose. The more prices rose, the richer it looked. A perfect loop. Perception creating capital. Capital creating perception. For years, it worked brilliantly. Entrepreneurs relocated.
This is 1080p,
Influencers
60
flooded
frames
in.
per second.
Millionaires bought second homes.
And able.
Professionals accepted temporary contracts.
Currently we are
Developers
in
built
Sheikh Zayed
faster
in
than
Dubai,
most cities could approve
the
permits.
famous business district
And because the
here
skyline kept
in this
rising, people assumed the foundation was
during the
just as
lockdown.
strong. That assumption matters. Because when growth is fast enough, almost everything looks permanent. Even if it is. Dubai became one of the clearest examples of a modern truth. You do not always need centuries of industrial power to look powerful. Sometimes you only need enough confidence arriving at once. And confidence can build astonishing things. But confidence has one weakness. It moves. Unlike factories tied to land. Unlike citizens tied to history. Unlike institutions tied to law. Unlike farmland tied to geography. Confidence can leave on the next flight. Money can reprice risk overnight. Tourists can choose another destination next season. Investors can chase a better tax regime next quarter. High earners can relocate the moment incentives change. That vulnerability remained invisible during the boom. Because booms hide fragility. When cranes fill the sky and luxury cars fill the streets, few people ask whether the momentum is owned or rented. And that is where the first crack begins. The first mistake outsiders make about Dubai is assuming the wealth they see is the same as wealth that stays. It often is. A Ferrari parked outside a hotel does not tell you whether it was bought with cash, financed through debt, leased for a month, or rented for an afternoon. A penthouse sold for millions does not tell you whether anyone lives there. A crowded luxury restaurant does not tell you whether customers are residents, tourists, or visitors passing through for 48 hours. Image can be real, but image can also be temporary. And Dubai built an economy that became exceptionally skilled at monetizing temporary things. Temporary visitors, temporary residents, temporary capital, temporary tax advantages, temporary geopolitical safety. That is not an insult, it is a strategy. But strategies built on movement must keep movement alive. The city must remain attractive. Rules must remain competitive. Luxury must remain exciting. Other places must remain less appealing. Because if capital becomes mobile, loyalty becomes weaker. This is where the supercar becomes the perfect symbol. It looks permanent when parked, but its entire identity is motion. And so is much of the money behind modern Dubai. Then there is oil. Many still imagine Dubai as a city, endlessly funded by crude wealth flowing from the ground. That image is outdated. Dubai's direct oil reserves are limited compared with neighboring Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia. Long ago, Dubai understood it could not rely solely on petroleum forever. So it pivoted earlier than many expected. Tourism, finance, logistics, real estate, luxury retail, global transit, professional services. In some ways, that was visionary. But the wider Gulf region still lives under oil's shadow. Oil revenues support state spending, regional confidence, sovereign investment, infrastructure ambition, and the broader aura of wealth that helps cities like Dubai sell themselves. Which means even when Dubai is diversified, it is not disconnected. When oil prices surge, confidence rises. When regional budgets expand, optimism spreads. When sovereign wealth deploys capital, mega projects accelerate. And when oil weakens, or the world begins planning for a post-oil future, the clock becomes visible again. This is why Gulf governments speak constantly about diversification. They are not doing it for fun. They know hydrocarbons created immense wealth. They also know hydrocarbons cannot guarantee the next century.
With a
Renewable energy grows. Electric vehicles expand.
Currently we are
Efficiency
in Sheikh Zayed
improves.
in Dubai.
Global demand
The
patterns
famous
change.
business district here
Price
in
volatility
this country.
remains brutal. Oil
This
may
is
remain
during the
important
lockdown.
for decades, but dependence has become dangerous. And when old engines become less certain, every luxury model built around them must prove it can run on something else. Dubai's answer was to become the something else. But that brings a new risk. Because finance, tourism, and foreign capital are less predictable than geology. Here is the deeper layer most people miss. Dubai often benefits when other places become unstable. When taxes rise elsewhere, money seeks alternatives. When politics deteriorates elsewhere, families seek safety. When conflict erupts elsewhere, capital seeks distance. When bureaucracy slows elsewhere, entrepreneurs seek speed. Dubai positioned itself brilliantly as a refuge for mobile wealth. A place where business could move fast. A place where lifestyle felt premium. A place where international residents could live between worlds. That model generated enormous success. But think carefully about what it means. Some of Dubai's strength comes not only from its own advantages, but from the problems of others. And that creates a strange dependence. If rival hubs improve, competition rises. If governments reform, capital may stay home. If new tax havens emerge, flows can split. If global growth slows, discretionary luxury shrinks. In other words, part of Dubai's boom depends on conditions outside Dubai. That makes forecasting harder, because no city controls the entire world. This is also why the population structure matters. Many residents are expatriates on work contracts or flexible arrangements. They contribute massively to the economy, from finance executives to engineers to hospitality workers. But temporary populations behave differently from rooted populations. They can expand quickly during boom times. They can contract quickly during downturns. They spend differently. They save differently. They relocate faster. A city built around mobile people gains speed. It may lose stability. Again, this is not unique to Dubai. Many modern hubs share the same pattern. But Dubai expresses it at a larger, more visible scale. Because the city is designed to showcase success. And showcase cities can feel strongest exactly when dependence is highest. The towers keep shining. The malls keep opening. The roads stay immaculate. Yet beneath that order sits a constant requirement. Keep flows coming. Keep tourists arriving. Keep investors buying. Keep professionals relocating. Keep headlines flattering. Keep confidence alive. That is exhausting work for any economy, especially in a world where competitors are learning the same playbook. Saudi Arabia launches new mega projects. Asian hubs refine finance incentives. European cities compete for talent. Remote work changes location logic. The old advantage of simply being glamorous is weaker than it used to be. And when glamour loses exclusivity, fundamentals matter more. That is where the next warning signs begin. The most important warnings in wealthy cities rarely arrive as headlines. They arrive as subtle changes in rhythm. A luxury district that feels slightly less crowded. An upscale tower offering incentives it once never needed. A premium restaurant easier to book than last year. A real estate market with more listings and fewer urgent buyers. A city still loud enough for tourists, but quieter than it should be for insiders. That kind of silence is difficult to photograph, so most people miss it. They keep filming the skyline. They keep posting the cars.
So this
They
is
keep assuming the
1080p,
spectacle tells the
60
whole
frames per
story.
second,
But spectacle
with
often lingers
rocksteady
after momentum
enabled.
slows. History shows this
Currently we are
repeatedly.
in Sheikh Zayed
Late-stage
in Dubai,
booms can look
the
magnificent.
famous business
The
district
buildings are
here
already
in this
finished.
country.
The roads are already
This is
paved.
during the lockdown.
The fountains are already programmed. The symbols of success remain visible long after growth becomes harder to sustain. That is why the final phase of an illusion can look identical to victory, until suddenly it doesn't. Dubai today is not a failed city. That would be lazy analysis. It remains one of the most efficient global hubs on Earth. Its airport connectivity is powerful. Its business environment attracts talent. Its infrastructure outperforms many older economies. Its brand recognition is world-class. Those strengths are real. But real strengths can coexist with real vulnerabilities. Over-reliance on external demand. Sensitivity to global rates and liquidity. Heavy competition from rising regional rivals. A property model that must continuously attract new buyers. A population base more mobile than permanent. These are not fatal flaws. They are pressure points. And pressure points matter most when the global environment changes. Cheap money created one era. Higher rates create another. Oil abundance created one psychology. Energy transition creates another. Scarcity of luxury hubs created one advantage. New competitors create another. No city gets to freeze time. Not even Dubai. Which brings us back to the supercar. Why does it matter so much? Because it captures the entire contradiction in one image. A Lamborghini is visually powerful, emotionally powerful, socially powerful. It announces success instantly. But economically, it may reveal almost nothing. Was it purchased or borrowed? Owned or rented? Long-term wealth or short-term signaling? Deep capital or surface consumption? That same question can be asked of cities. Do towers equal strength? Do high prices equal resilience? Do luxury crowds equal permanence? Do glowing skylines equal deep foundations? Sometimes yes, sometimes not. And that uncertainty is where serious analysis begins. Dubai understood earlier than most places that attention has value. It monetized desire. It monetized envy. It monetized convenience. It monetized tax efficiency. It monetized spectacle. That was brilliant. But models built on attention face a permanent challenge. They must keep being more impressive than the alternatives. Because attention moves faster than loyalty. The same world that once became amazed by Dubai can become distracted by something newer. Another skyline. Another tax haven. Another mega project. Another safer bet. Another story. And stories are powerful until people stop believing them. This does not mean Dubai disappears. More likely it evolves. It may deepen its role in finance, expand as a logistics nerve center, become a stronger base for global families, shift from spectacle toward substance, trade flashier growth for steadier relevance. That would be maturity. But maturity is harder to market than miracles. And Dubai was built in the age of miracles. That is why the next chapter matters so much. Can a city famous for speed adapt to a slower world? Can a place built on movement build permanence? Can luxury become durability? Can image become institution? Those are far more important questions than whether a Ferrari is parked outside a hotel tonight. Because the real contest is not about cars. It is about what remains when the excitement normalizes. The lights are still on. The towers still shine.
So this is
the malls still echo with
60
music.
frames per second.
The highways still carry
with
supercars through the midnight heat. From the outside, everything looks intact.
We are in Sheikh Zayed,
But the future of
Dubai,
cities is rarely
the
decided by what
business
tourists can
district
see.
here in this
It is
country.
decided by capital flows,
This is during the lockdown.
demographics, productivity, competition, trust, and whether momentum can survive once novelty fades. Dubai may remain rich for decades, or it may discover that looking wealthy and being structurally secure are not the same thing. And if cities
This
built
is
on oil,
1080p,
image,
60
and
frames
moving
per
money begin
second
entering a new era,
with a rock steady
what replaces
enabled.
them? If you enjoy deep analysis
Currently
on
we are
wealth,
in Sheikh
power,
Zayed in
geopolitics, and the hidden
the
mechanics
famous
behind
business
global
district
success
here
stories,
in this country.
subscribe and share your thoughts below.
This is during